Daniel Harper stood at the edge of the old wooden pier, staring at the quiet lake as the sun dipped low. The water reflected shades of orange and gold, but inside him everything felt gray. He held a small, crumpled piece of paper in his trembling hand. It was the last letter from his wife, Emma. 3 months ago, Emma had passed away after a long battle with cancer. Daniel still couldn't accept that she was gone. They had been married for 27 years, and not a single day had passed when he hadn't heard her voice, her laugh, or her gentle scolding about forgetting his jacket. Now the house felt empty. Too empty. Daniel had once been a strong man, both physically and emotionally. He worked as a carpenter, built homes, fixed broken doors, and helped neighbors without ever asking for anything in return. But after Emma's death, he felt broken in a way no tool could repair. Every night, he sat alone in the living room, staring at their wedding photo on the wall. Emma's smile in that picture was bright, hopeful, full of life. He would whisper to the frame, "I'm sorry I couldn't save you." The doctors had tried everything. Chemotherapy, surgeries, experimental treatments. Daniel had sold his truck and even his late father's watch to cover medical bills. Emma had begged him not to, but he refused to give up. "I don't need things," he had told her. "I just need you." But life didn't listen. On the night Emma died, she held Daniel's hand and said softly, "Promise me something." "Anything," he replied, tears falling onto her hospital blanket. "Promise you'll keep living. Promise you won't turn into a sad old man sitting alone." Daniel tried to smile. "I promise." But promises are easier to make than to keep. After the funeral, Daniel stopped going to work. He ignored phone calls. He barely ate. His sister, Laura, visited him often, trying to pull him back to reality. "You can't keep doing this, Dan," she said one afternoon. "Emma wouldn't want this." "I know what she'd want," he replied quietly. "She'd want to be here." Laura sighed and left some groceries on the table. "At least eat something." But Daniel barely touched them. One evening, while cleaning out a drawer, Daniel found a small envelope with his name written in Emma's handwriting. His heart skipped. Inside was a letter. "Daniel, if you're reading this, it means I'm not there anymore. I know you. You'll blame yourself. You'll stop living. And you'll forget to smile. So here's what I want you to do. Go to the lake where we had our first picnic. Sit on the pier. Read this letter out loud. And then help someone that day. Anyone. Even a stranger. Love doesn't end when people leave. It only changes shape. Love, Emma." Daniel broke down crying. That's how he ended up on the pier that evening. He read the letter out loud, his voice shaking. When he finished, he wiped his tears and looked around. The lake was quiet. No one was there. He stood up slowly, ready to go home, when he noticed a small figure sitting at the far end of the pier. A little boy, maybe 7 or 8 years old. He was holding a fishing rod, but it was tangled badly. Daniel walked closer. "Hey there, buddy. Need some help?" The boy looked up with red, tired eyes. "I can't fix it. My dad used to do it." Daniel knelt beside him. "Where's your dad now?" The boy hesitated. He died last year. Car accident." Daniel felt a sharp pain in his chest. "I come here because he brought me here," the boy continued. "I pretend he's still with me." Daniel gently took the fishing line and started entangling it. "What's your name?" "Ethan." "I'm Daniel." They worked in silence for a moment. "My mom works late," Ethan said quietly. "She says I shouldn't be here alone, but I like it." Daniel fixed the rod and handed it back. "Your dad would be proud of you for being brave." Ethan smiled faintly. "Do you miss someone too?" Daniel nodded. "My wife." Ethan looked at him. "Do you talk to her?" "Sometimes," Daniel said. "It helps." They sat together on the pier, fishing. They didn't catch anything, but it didn't matter. When it got dark, Daniel walked Ethan home. His mother, Sarah, opened the door with panic in her eyes. "Ethan, I've been calling you." "I was with Daniel," Ethan said quickly. "He fixed my rod." Sarah looked at Daniel suspiciously, then softened when she saw his tired, gentle face. "Thank you," she said. "I've been so worried." "It's okay," Daniel replied. "He's a good kid." That night, Daniel slept better than he had in months. The next day, he went back to the lake. Then again the day after that. Soon, he and Ethan made it a routine. Fishing, talking, sometimes just sitting quietly. Sarah began to trust Daniel and even joined them occasionally. One afternoon, Ethan said, "You smile more now." Daniel realized he was right. Weeks turned into months. Daniel started working again. He fixed Sarah's broken fence for free. He helped neighbors again. He laughed sometimes. But one night, his grief came crashing back hard. He dreamed of Emma calling his name, reaching out to him. He woke up crying. The next morning, he went to the pier alone. "Why did you leave me?" he whispered to the lake. "I'm trying, Emma, but it hurts so much." He sat there for a long time until a hand touched his shoulder. It was Sarah. "Ethan told me you were sad," she said softly. "He wanted to come, but I told him to stay home." Daniel wiped his eyes. "I'm a mess." Sarah shook her head. "You're human." They talked for hours. About Emma. About Ethan's father. About loneliness. About fear. "I feel guilty for smiling again," Daniel admitted. "Like I'm betraying her." Sarah nodded. "I used to feel that too. But I realized something. Loving again doesn't erase the past. It honors it." Daniel looked at her, surprised. "She'd want you to be happy," Sarah continued. "Not stuck in pain forever." Daniel remembered Emma's letter. "Help someone. Keep living." Tears filled his eyes again, but this time they weren't only sad. Months later, something unexpected happened. One evening, Daniel came home to find a package at his door. Inside was his old truck's watch. The one he had sold. There was a note. "From someone who saw what you did for a little boy and his mom. Keep being kind. A friend." Daniel held the watch and cried harder than he ever had. That night, he went to the lake and whispered, "Thank you, Emma, for not giving up on me." Years passed. Daniel never forgot Emma. He kept her photo on the wall. He still talked to her sometimes. But he also built a new life. He became a mentor at a local youth center. He helped kids who had lost parents. He taught them carpentry. He listened to their pain. Ethan grew up strong and confident. He called Daniel his second dad. And Sarah, she and Daniel grew close. Slowly, gently, with respect for the past. One day, Daniel stood at the same pier, holding another letter. This time, he had written it himself. "Emma, I kept my promise. I kept living. I still love you. I always will. But I learned that love doesn't disappear. It grows. It spreads. Because of you, I saved a boy from loneliness. Because of you, I found purpose again. Thank you for loving me enough to let me go forward. Love always, Daniel." He folded the letter and placed it inside a glass bottle, gently setting it into the lake. The sun dipped low, painting the sky gold again. And for the first time in years, Daniel smiled without guilt.